Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear sisters, I only know the name of one of you guys, and that is Saima. I don't know the name of the other sister. Sister, this video is for you and the other sister that was with you in the video. Today you have received brotherly advice from Ali Dawa, and I thought, why not give you sisterly advice as well? You know, sometimes it depends. A brother could be helpful, sometimes it's a sister. And I hope, inshallah, sincerely, I really hope from the bottom of my heart that this video will reach you. And not only that, I really hope that you will receive it well. Because I don't mean to cause you any harm. I don't mean to disrespect you. I don't mean to offend you in any way. I honestly just want to give you sisterly advice. And I honestly hope that you will be able to see it through this video, inshallah, so that it will help you, at least help you reflect and remove the video eventually to show us, you know, I'm your sister, Ali Dawa is your brother. You know, you might hate us as brothers and sisters do sometimes, but know that we really sincerely want to help you, because the way that we want to help you is to call you to Allah. It's not that we're calling you to anything that will cause you any harm, you know? So please keep that in mind, inshallah. I wish I knew you guys. I wish that I could contact you. I wish that I could sit with you face to face and have this conversation with you and the other sister, because that way you guys could tell me why you made that video and why you don't want to remove that video. You know, we could engage in a conversation just to try to help you understand that you sisters are covered, and because you're covered, you know. And I usually don't like to, if I see a sister covered or uncovered, it doesn't mean that the one is more pious than the other. It just means that one is, you know, through her looks from the outside, she's following the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by covering herself, and one that is not covered. But it doesn't mean that one is more pious than the other. Really, it doesn't mean that. But you guys, you are covering your hair in the video, and people see you as Muslims. So you represent us Muslims, right? You do represent us. We're one ummah. We are one body. You know, sometimes when we sin, we do make that body weaker. And today, we can see that our ummah is divided. And it really, what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Syria, what's happening everywhere around the world, really, everywhere there's Muslims dying, we can be the change. We, us sisters, because you, my sister, you have followers. You are influential. The girls, the sisters that watch you can learn from you. And I hope, inshallah, that you will be a good role model for them. Today we live in a society where shame is slowly dying. A known scholar once said that if you want to destroy a society, make zina normal, you know? And you guys were discussing things that involve zina, right? And you were discussing it in a video so that people will watch it. You were answering questions. I don't know who asked you guys these questions, but a lot of people have seen your video. Now, we today are exposed to, you know, by advertisement, television, on the internet, women are used as an object. Advertisement today, if you want to sell anything, just place a woman that's naked or have a couple make out in the commercial. That's today's advertisement. You know, sometimes I don't even watch television, to be honest. Sometimes I'm just on YouTube and I'm watching videos and I'm forced to, you know, wait a minute or two to see an advertisement. And the advertisement is about deodorant, and then at one point you see a couple making out, really. So these things, we are exposed by these things, and if you keep being exposed, you know, even in public, if you keep seeing these things that are haram, at one point we become accustomed to them. We become desensitized. You might think, what's the big deal? Well, the problem, if you think what's the big deal, the problem is not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that it's haram. The problem becomes us. We don't see clearly anymore. These things are not allowed. These things that you have done, you know these are sins in Islam. You know Allah subhanahu wouldn't approve of them. So why are you sharing them in public? It should cause you shame. You should hide it, not expose it. I want to ask you guys a question, yeah? Would you have a conversation like that with your parents? Would you guys have had this conversation in front of both your parents? Would you have talked to your family members about these things? I'm sure you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that in front of your parents. What about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who watches over you all the time, 24/7? What about Him? He has already seen you do these sins, and now you're exposing them. To whom are you exposing them? You're exposing them to girls that might admire you, and that, they could learn from you, but instead of learning something valuable from you, they're learning these things from you that could harm them. If you're really careless about doing this, making these videos and showing the public, if you're careless about yourself and you don't care that it causes you harm and it damages your relationship that you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then at least be worried, for the sisters that watch you, that it can cause them harm, because it does influence them. Just like media, just like advertisement influence us, it does influence us. We might not realize it, but it does influence us. You're influencing them the same way. Be conscious of that. Please don't let pride prevent you from deleting that video. I understand that perhaps you thought that at that time there was nothing wrong with it, but now that you're being advised, reflect. Think about it. Don't think about it because we are forcing you. No, think about it because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not being forced to do anything. You can choose what you do. If you want to sin, sin. But at least do it in private. If you're going to do it, no matter what we do, at least do it in private. Don't influence others. Don't influence others that would think, they would think that it's normal to do stuff like that, because it's not. And I know that you guys know that it's not. So if you guys are not worried about yourself, please be worried about those sisters that watch you, because you guys might cause them harm. And I know that you guys don't want to be responsible for that. I hope that this video will reach you, and inshallah, please, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rethink what you're doing. Reflect and delete that video, inshallah. I will make dua for you guys. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
من قلبي يا حبيبة قلبي ذقت أدعو لربي أن يواسي ويجيب من روحي يا رفيقة